Alright, hello everybody. Welcome back to Fast Pace for Pride. I'm very excited to be back here. My name is mchan338, and today I have...
I'm alec47, and I'm going to be helping out with some commentary here.
Alright, very excited to have Alec here. This is New Super Mario Bros. 2. Time does not start until I start moving on the map, which means I have to get past this, 50-second cutscene. So if we're ready to begin, I'm just going to go ahead and hit the start button right now. Okay, this is New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Nintendo 3DS. It is the third game in the New Super Mario Bros. Series, with the second game being New Super Mario Bros. Wii. The category is Warpless. Most people who watch speedruns of this game are mainly familiar with any percent. In any percent, you use warp cannons to skip a large portion of the game, and Warpless is a category that uses none of the warp cannons. So what you'll be seeing in this run is a more traditional route through the game. So you see a bit more of the game, and more content, and more of what the game is capable of as a speedrun. It's a really fun category.
Yeah, it's a category I quite like to watch as well.
Yeah. So, time's about to begin. In a moment. 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, so beginning the first level here. Every category, you do the first 4 levels, and right off the bat here, what you're seeing is I'm going to be going slightly out of my way to get star coins. Now, this is not a 100% run, but I'm getting star coins because in the world map, there are 5 star coin signs that'll take you to either toad houses or just a different part of the map. And in some of those parts where the signs will lead you to different parts of the map, could lead you to either faster levels or just a faster path in the map. In this route, we actually get 15 star coins in total. Which are, and all 15 star coins are all needed within the first 3 worlds of the run.
Yeah, so this game has branching paths for each world. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the main path, with 3 and 5 being shared before the final world 6. And a lot of what actually saves time in this game with one route or another is just skipping parts of a world. So one of the reasons that the Warpless run actually isn't that much slower than the any percent run is because, fortunately for this category and unfortunately for that one, what you make up for in skipping through a lot of worlds that are not shared is made up for with additional auto-scrollers. There are quite a few in the any percent category. Fewer here. Not none, but fewer. And here we go. This is, you're going to be seeing a lot of this power-up. It's basically the only power-up ever used if things go well. And you can see also the flying up at full speed by spinning. You spin to win, you keep your speed, and you keep going. You get your P speed pretty much the same way as in any other game where there's P speed. You run at a fast pace on the ground, it slowly drains otherwise, and you can also maintain it, I think, a good bit easier than in Super Mario Bros. 3. So
yeah,
that is potentially useful in a few places.
So this is the first tower level. Climb. You get the first secret exit, but since this is warpless, and the secret exit will take you to the first warp cannon, we're not using any warp cannons in this run, so we just gotta make it to the end of the level instead normally. It's kind of the first difficult level to optimize. I made a couple bit of mistakes. Not too bad. The first in every tower you fight Reznor, who's a returning boss from Super Mario World. And the way you fight Reznor is pretty much the same as how you fight in Mario World. And you just hit underneath him. In this game, there's more creative ways of fighting Reznor to make him seem like he's a harder fight each time. So you'll be seeing more different ways of fighting Reznor in the later worlds.
Yeah, that's obviously by far the easiest one with 4 platforms and just 2 Reznors.
Yeah. Alright, so coming up in the next level, we're going to get our 5th star coin, which will bring us at 5, which is good because the next level that we're going to be doing after this level is not going to be 1-5. It's actually going to be 1-A. So 1-5 is a water level, so it's automatically slower. 1-A, on the other hand, saves like 50 seconds over 1-5, so this alone makes the star coins worth getting.
Yeah, it's not just a water level, but it's one that can't really be done quickly. Especially in, what was I going to say? So, the different power-ups that different games have, like, New Super Mario Bros. For the DS has the blue shell, which lets you go much faster in water. New Super Mario Bros. 2 doesn't really have anything quite like that, so water levels are even more to be avoided than in some other games of the New Super Mario Bros. Series. Meanwhile, this level, you can see, is going rather quickly.
Yeah. So you just saw me do a little bit of a skip. You're supposed to use like a pipe cannon in order to get to the part that I just went up to, but it is a couple seconds faster to set up piece speed and fly up to where I went up to instead. This is one of those things that people do in order to save the most amount of time, as this is a very optimized category.
Yeah, when you talk about the record run, it only has maybe 20 seconds or so of improvement. That's just me ballparking it. It's quite optimized.
Over an almost hour-long run, that's very, very impressive. It's the kind of thing, they talk about frame cycles in the original Super Mario. It's basically that, but over an hour's time.
Yeah. This is our first castle. There are some strats that you can do with the type ropes, but I'm not particularly good at them, so I'm just avoiding all of the swinging ropes. You saw I built up a pretty precise piece speed in order to get up to that second coin, because I will need another 5-star coins in World 2. So the boss of every castle is Koopaling. In this case, it's Roy. And bosses are always the same as long as you fight them the same way. So I know when Roy's going to come out of his shell, so I just hang out from where Roy comes out of his shell, and then just hit him immediately as soon as he comes back up, and that's the fight. And then Key's going to drop, and I'm going to fly up to the Key as opposed to waiting for it to fall down, because it's much faster that way. And that is the first world out of 6 completed within the run.
Yeah, so pretty much right away in World 2, also, hi, Lemmy. He is...
that's Iggy.
I get those two mixed up a lot.
But yeah, what he was trying to say is that World 2 is where the difficulty of the run starts to pick up here.
Yeah. So after this first level, you'll notice right there is that 5-star coin 5-star coin sign. There's also one little mechanic that is going to be used a couple times in this run. You saw that little golden brick above at the start of the level. Its kind of stated use is to get more coins, but we don't really care about that. Instead, it's going to be used to gain an extra hit in a couple places. Usually just for safety, but it can also be used to go fast without losing a power-up, which costs time.
Yeah, and that's abused for one level later on in World 4. So 2-2, there's a vertical section that you would normally have to climb, but if I build a piece speed right over here, then I can just skip that vertical climbing section and just fly up to the end instead. Also grab this coin, which will bring me at 5 star coins, as the next level that we're going to be doing is going to be 2-A instead of 2-3. This is a bit, in very old Warpless runs, we used to do 2-3, but as of 5 years ago, it's been found out that 2-A saves 12 seconds, but because you go out of your way to get star coins as well as take the time to actually spend the star coins here, it's a net 6 seconds save.
Yeah, it's a notably more difficult stage than 2-3, but it's also pretty cool looking, so it has that going for it. You see these platforms here and how they go right. You can use those to speed up, but you also want to gain P speed, so the precision here is landing as far left on them and jumping off as far right, or just running off and then flying, as the case may be, depending on where the next one is, to get as much of that speed boost as possible. So it makes it a nice little technical level here, and they're doing a little spin to win flying to beat it up to the flagpole.
Yeah, and the fuzzy at the very end that I just hit can sometimes hit you, and if you get hit by the fuzzy, you just die, and then you gotta do the rest of the level without a leaf.
Yeah, so more difficult, riskier, but faster. So
Yeah.
it's done.
Alright, so 2-Tower has a lot of these moving cycles with these blocks, which, you know, if you're not careful, you can get crushed. The cycle I am going to go for in this level is a cycle where if I make it to the very end without making any mistakes, then all I gotta do is just wait about a second for a cycle to open up. There is a much harder cycle that world record runners do in order to save 6 more seconds, and that is to do the same movement that I'm doing, but cut the jumps a lot tighter in order to beat this very last cycle, but it's not safe to do in a marathon.
Yeah, it's kind of like a half cycle, so basically as the platforms were going down to the point where mchan waited there, they would be running through. It is hard.
Very hard. Yeah, so as you can see right there, there's a different Reznor fights. As you see, there's 4 of them as opposed to 2, so you know, a little bit harder, but not as much.
Yeah, I don't think this category does the most interesting Reznor fights, but you will still see a bit of variety in them.
Yeah. So this is the first Ghost House, and Ghost Houses traditionally in Mario games are like gimmicky levels that trick the players into getting lost. But here in this game, the Ghost Houses, they just have some gimmicks into them. Like the gimmick here is that this is Big Boo chasing after us. And he actually progresses the level. If you turn to the left directly at the Big Boo, then he actually stops and actually stops the progression of the level. So you want to make sure you're facing right as much as you can. But at some point right here, I'm gonna have to face left in order to reveal a hidden block right here, which will give us the secret exit. And this secret exit is gonna allow us to skip 2 levels with the price of 1 level.
Yeah, so it all goes into just the pathing through the worlds, taking the quickest path possible. Even at the cost of a shorter auto-scroller.
Yeah. Yeah, so otherwise the 2 levels that I would normally do, they're actually pretty hard to do. This level is very straightforward. You just fly over everything. If you run the 100% category, then this level is not as straightforward. It's probably one of the worst levels, but since I don't have to worry about that, it's not 100%, I can just fly over everything.
Yeah, like, I know when I played through 100%, it did get annoying. You have these bob-ombs, it's just a matter of flying right. It's pretty much the same every time if you're at full speed the whole time, so not really that much to worry about.
Alright, so our first major skip of the levels is in this level. So there's a big old button that you're supposed to ride across lava, but I'm going to try and skip that instead.
So yeah, you can't really build up P speed. I'm sure they intentionally designed it that way. So instead, jumping across the platforms at the top there, then there's more over here in order to maintain flight long enough. Hitting the ground a couple times to jump is pretty much required, and there we go, right to the boss.
Alright, so I'm going to fight Iggy Koopa. So Iggy Koopa will come out of different parts of the room randomly, but you have enough time to get to where he's going to come out from, to where the randomness is not a factor.
Like, the worst that you can say is that it's in a couple patterns you have to wait like half a second before you can hit them. But it's not a huge factor.
Alright, 2 worlds down. So we're about a third through the run. There's actually only 6 worlds as opposed to the traditional 8. There are 2 extra worlds that you can do, but they're not part of the route of the run. So coming up is World 3, which is a combination of a beach and a forest world. The first half being a beach world and the second half being a forest world. So it's a bit of a unique theme world. The first level, we're going to be introduced to a star power. And stars make you invincible, as well as increase your movement speed. And also with stars is you can actually chain them across certain blocks of the level when you hit some blocks while you have a star. So that block that is hit right there will not contain a star if I hit that block without a star. And so chaining that stars across this level is very nice. That way you don't have to deal with these cheeps.
You're also able to remain on the ground a fair amount, but it doesn't matter because in this game the star power transfers that speed to you both in the air and on the ground.
Yeah.
Which is a nice little improvement from New Super Mario Bros. 1.
Oh yeah, and in the first game you only get a speed boost whenever you're on the ground. Alright, so here is going to be the last point of the run where we're going to be needing star coins, and that is to do 3-A as opposed to doing 2 levels up on the top. This is a water level, but doing this level is better than doing 2 levels. The only thing to say about this level is that the currents are always pushing you forward. So with that being said, if I believe a Tree is the host of the run. If you like to say anything, then this would be a good time.
My pleasure. Now that I'm a Tree, I can double up on some comments, thanking people for... No, I'm just messing with you. It's my pleasure. Yeah, no, we did have a donation from one non-binary friend of ours, Ori Sky. They donated $26.82, and I mentioned that because they donated towards the Spin Rhythm XD color customization to put non-binary pride ahead of Rainbow Pride by exactly 1 penny. Saying, putting this dono towards the non-binary bid war option for Spin Rhythm XD. Bid war, bid war, bid war, bid war. So thank you so much for that and for helping get us within $23 of the Pac-Land Pro, also known as the Whole Dang Game Showcase. Back to you.
So I guess another thing to point out is the coin count. So you might notice on the bottom right of the bottom screen right now, there is an external coin count. It says 9999. So one of the main selling points of this game is to get 1,000,000 coins. And that actually plays a factor within the speedrun itself. Because whenever you beat a level, the game counts up all your coins. And it's more apparent whenever you beat a castle or a tower, as the game will count up those coins and then ask you to save. So you lose about a second each time. So that does add up over the course of the run. And so if you max out your coins, then the game does not count up those coins, which skips that prompt entirely. In Warpless, you save like 10 seconds for having a max coin count.
Yeah, it's both significant, but not enough to keep you from at least getting a competitive time. So if you do decide to run this game, don't consider it mandatory, but it is definitely useful and does save time. The longer the run, the more time it saves. Right here, because it's an auto-scroller, mchan is getting this yellow coin block head. It's not really necessary, but if he messes up one of these flips, then it's useful just because he will still have his leaf power-up.
I see. So like Shelmets and a few other special power-ups, it does provide an extra hit to protect your power-up.
Yeah.
Exactly. And because it costs no time in this lame auto-scroller of a castle. Yeah. Well, tower,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's also especially useful for Reznor, because one of the things we didn't talk about yet is that there's actually some RNG in the Reznor fights. Reznor can randomly shoot a fireball, and sometimes he can shoot a fireball whenever you're trying to do a hit, which can really mess up your timing and your strategy. And so having this coin block for the fight is makes us like super free.
Yeah, this is another basic 4-4 like you are used to seeing in Super Mario World. Nice friendly fight there. Didn't need the block, but again, it costs no time to get, and it's good to have.
Yep. So in 3-4 is actually the best level to grind coins if you're interested in maxing your coin count. If you are playing on the coin rush mode of the game. So in this level, there's 2 sections. The first section is really easy, and then the second section has cycles of rising up and down poison water. There's a really early cycle you can do, but I'm not going to do it because if you mess up, then you just die. So I'm just going to like take the 1.5 second time loss for consistency.
Yeah, the coin rush mode is its own thing. The best place to grind coins, but it's not really where the speedrun focuses, obviously. Focuses on the main game.
So heading up to 3-Ghost. What can I say about 3-Ghost? So right off the bat here, I'm going to jump off from this block. It's going to move and get a little bit of a boost for a minute. It saves it like a few frames. In this next room, there's a very precise piece speed build-up. You have just enough room needed to get this. I got it. And this just allows me to just fly across the room right here.
Obviously faster than taking the platforms. Not much, but it is.
Yeah. And then we fall down as early as possible in that room, and then here, we're just gonna fly up to the room that we need to go head into. And then in this room here, I am going to face backwards as I'm flying upwards over here, so I can get that boot and move out of the way. And then you do need the leaf in order to spin those blocks away in order to get the secret exit, which will skip a level.
Yeah, he does have the backup leaf just in case, but it is far preferable to keep it through here because it will be used fairly soon.
Alright, so 3-Dash Castle has these razors that you have to use to dodge. There you have to dodge as you go through this level.
The first part of this level is really cool looking, I think. And then once you get your P speed and get the flight, it just keeps going. I like it.
And then there's a really early P speed if I can get. I got it, so this allows me to just fly past that big old razor right there. And then I can keep my P speed and fly over all these razors and go straight to the boss door.
Yeah, it's pretty much once you get P speed, you don't quite win automatically, but getting it is key to making this stage really go quickly.
Yep. So this is a Wendy Koopa. So she's going to start by flooding the room with water. You cannot hit her in the water unless you have the Fire Flower. So you can save time in this fight if you have the Fire Flower, but it's not worth grabbing the Fire Flower just to save time in this fight.
Yeah, once the water's down, nice and easy. As long as you don't give Wendy a time to shoot out her rings, which in speedrun obviously you
or
don't.
give her a chance to flood the room again.
Mm-hmm.
I admit, that's kind of what I was expecting, perhaps to have it happen between cycles, but obviously you did not give her the chance to make that happen.
No way. Alright, so World 4 coming up next is normally the longest world in the entire game. It actually has the most amount of levels out of every single level out of all the worlds in the game, but it's actually a very short world in the run because we actually only do 4 levels. There's a secret exit in 4-Ghost, which is the next level that we're going to be doing, that will allow us to skip pretty much a lot of World 4.
Yeah, it's a kind of a nice counterpoint to the World 6 in New Super Mario Bros., where it's incredibly linear. More akin to the World 6 in New Super Mario Bros. Wii as well. I like that they have these alternate paths in so many of these levels. I do have a complaint about one of them, which I'll get to in a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, the only thing to say about this level is that there are these mini Goombas that will reduce your jump height, but didn't have to worry about them too much.
Yeah, and you can shake them off by twirling. It just is a minor inconvenience, but it's a minor inconvenience that does cost time.
Yeah. Okay, so this level is another good level where if a T-Tree wants to say something, then this would be a good time.
Certainly. I'd be happy to tell you that we are still just about $20 away from that Pac-Land Pro or the whole dang game showcase, and tell you more about GATE, or the Global Action for Trans Equality Group. Their work on health focuses on supporting TGDI activists' effective engagement with technical and political processes while concerning their health and rights. This includes conducting advocacy with international decision-making and funding mechanisms, including the WHO, UNAIDS, and the Global Fund, engaging with the International Classification of Diseases implementation process at the WHO and country levels, founding and coordinating the International Working Group on Trans-Masked People and HIV, and participating in the community consultation to start the development of the first WHO guidelines on gender-affirming care. They do absolutely amazing and crucial work, and it's astounding how much they get done as a small group. You can really tell how passionate they are about what they do, and we are so glad to be supporting them here today.
Absolutely. You saw mchan get P-speed about halfway through that auto-scroller and then maintain it the rest of the time. The alternative way to get up there involves taking a couple more seconds to get a wall jump in there, and then you have to turn around. But if you get up there right away during the P-speed, you don't lose any time. So that is obviously preferred.
Yep. So 4-B has these amps. If you get hit by them, then you get electrocuted and then lose your power up. As well as you lose it kills your momentum as well. So it's you lose quite a bit of time getting hit by the sparks or the amps. But don't have to worry about them.
Yeah,
it's pretty straightforward level.
It's pretty much just the early ones. As long as you skip past the first couple, those are the tightest ones. From there, it's just a matter of maintaining your pace so that you don't have to deal with any weird positions.
Mm-hmm. So this pipe will take us straight to the castle. And so this coin block that's been following me, we're actually going to be using it in this level. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this coin block, and normally there's a fire bar that I have to wait for, but I can just boost right through the fire bar without losing any of my power-ups and losing any time if I have this coin block. just like this, and then over here is a roulette block, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit that step, which will slow me down enough to get a cycle on the roulette block to where I can get a star, so I can use the star to run right through pretty much most of the level. And I do a intentional damage boost through those large spike balls because it's not a good way to dodge them, so we just boost right through them anyway.
Yeah, it costs less time to lose the power-up, use the backup, and then get a new backup, so
yeah,
that's what's done.
So this is the hardest fight in the game. Check this out. So I hit him, and he's going to come back up from the top, and then I hit him again. It is so difficult.
The tail does make it much easier to hit his hitbox from here, but it's very much possible to do that strat without the raccoon tail. You just have to not be on the ground when he lands.
Oh yeah, he can stun you if you're on the ground. But yeah. So coming up is World 5, which is another really short world, but it's also all the levels are pretty difficult. You can one mistake could lose you a handful of seconds, and it snowballs very quickly across all the levels. So this is my least favorite world of pretty much the entire game across every category.
It's fun to watch when played well, but it is difficult to play well. So we're going in here, and there is an alternate exit here. And that gets into my complaint. You will see why soon enough. But after mchan climbs up a few of these, well, just one, and then goes down. No, it is two. Yeah, I remember right. Why was I doubting myself? Also, the first time I played this level, I absolutely just went down in the pit. I did not notice the alternate exit past there. But yeah, this leads to a level. Of all of the levels in the game, it certainly is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so this level goes well, it goes well, but if it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. So we're gonna fly up here. This will actually take us to the secret exit. And let's see how this room goes. Okay, good. And then I face backwards so I can get this boo out of the way, so I can just slide underneath him to enter that door. And then it's not over yet. Okay, good. Alright, awesome. So that level is actually much harder than I made that look. It's so easy to make a mistake and then it throws everything off, especially in that second room.
Mm-hmm. But wait, there's more.
Hell yeah, there is more.
If you play Mario right now... Wait, I don't have a finish for that joke. Anyways, back to you.
So, we might throw it right back to you because this is an auto-scroller. We have a really hard level, then an auto-scroller.
So
yep.
How wonderful.
This is good light music to work with. I'm happy to thank everybody for watching Fast Space for Pride 2023. To remind you that we are running in support of Gate, and this is presented by the Fast Pace event team, of whom I am for some reason a member. They haven't kicked me out yet, so thank you to everyone for that. We'd also like to extend our thanks to Chill Hop Music. This is not Chill Hop Music that you're hearing now, but we thank them for being the provider of much of the music you've heard on screen between runs. If you'd like to check out their music label, see what they're about and what kind of offerings they have, follow the link via the Chill Hop command in chat, ! Chill Hop. Let's see, we are still inching towards that Pac-Land Pro showcase. We have a little under 4 hours left, as I recall, seeing that we could do it at pretty much... no, I think that needs to be done before the run starts. My apologies for misleading there. And we are still 1 cent apart on the spin rhythm color customization bid. So if you want to see more entrancing rhythm gameplay with the pride of your choice, feel free to put !donate in the chat and give in a way that suits your budget and what you are able to do right now. That would be greatly appreciated from all of us and from the folks at Dave.
Alright, so we are, as you can see, progressing through this auto-scroller. On the second screen, there's a nice little progress meter. It's pretty accurate. Kind of hard not to be in a level like this. But yeah, it just goes to show how long this level is.
Yeah, and you do it twice if you're doing 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But now would actually be a good time to talk about the next level, which is 5 Castle. So much like in 2 Castle, there's a major skip that where like you're supposed to ride like these grates that will take you across lava, but with precise flying, I'm going to skip that entirely. This is divided up into like 3 different sections, and if I failed any one of them, then I have to do the whole level all over again. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so that's 1. That's the second part. And that's the third part. Alright guys, so in the something to explain in the third part there's a strat called the YOLO, where you can actually fly right through that big old piranha plant. But if you mess it up, you die. Hence it's the YOLO, but yeah, I kind of like this run to where I don't really feel like killing it.
Yeah, it's pretty much you have to go right at it and get above its part of its hit points.
Oh man!
So yeah.
Okay, so what I was trying to do there is I was trying to hit Ludwig right before he flies up, which would skip that. Okay, that's not good. Which would actually skip that entire phase entirely, but now this fight's okay. All right, so I do have to get a leaf in 6-1, which is not bad, but that's what happens if you mess up the fight and it goes wrong. Normally it goes a lot worse than that, but I managed to improvise it.
Yeah, the Ludwig fight is actually quite interesting. I enjoyed it casually, but definitely a fight where things can snowball if they go wrong, without a doubt. That first hit, basically you're just hoping for a double hit. You get hit and Ludwig gets hit as well. So that's pretty much guaranteed, and then you hope to time the next 2 hits properly, and it goes pretty quickly then, but you pretty much are guaranteed, I think it's 100% even, to take a hit going for the first one.
You can do it hitless, but that's not something most people rely on. Alright, but here we are in the final world, World 6. Starting off, this level has falling meteors, but as long as you're doing this level fast, then it's not really something that you worry about at all.
Yeah, I definitely prefer these kinds of spawns where even if they're still random, you can deal with them by being good and not get slowed down.
Yeah. In the 100% category, you do have to worry about the randomness of the meteors, but it's not 100%, and I'm not getting the star coins. Then yeah, you just do the level as fast as you can. 6-Ghosts is, I mean, when you're playing this game, normally a complex level, but I mean, since I've done this level so many times, I know exactly where to go.
Yeah, this one definitely took me a while the first time. It's quite the maze, but again, once you know all the doors, which there are a lot of in this level. And that was the part that got me, is the two sections that look so similar. And then the switch behind the ghost.
Nice. If you do your wall jumps really well in that room, then you get to skip 2 wall jumps, and it saves a second in that climb.
Yeah.
So this secret exit allows me to skip a very hard section of World 6, as the 2 levels that you would normally do feature some very difficult skips, and we just skip having to do that entirely. Instead, we have a pretty simple level of 6-A.
Yeah, kind of nice to be able to take a breather here, in a sense, even though it's still not, strictly speaking, easy. Because the finale of the run is legitimately difficult.
So we're going to fly in order to skip a climbing section like that. The gimmick behind this level is that there's a rising lava, but we go so fast that you don't really see the lava rising.
Until there. Where it's
yeah. Okay, so 6-Tower. A pretty tough level. There's 2 parts. The first part is a technical climb, and then the second part there's a skip that you use to skip a long, like, moving elevator up to the top of the level.
Mm-hmm. And both parts are difficult. The second part especially, I think, looks flashy. Here, it's still really hard. Like, getting these jumps just right in sequence takes quite a bit. And then up here, nice backup grab. But here, he's going to be landing every so often to reset his flight. And then coming up right about... okay, you hit the bottom, yeah. You can hit the side as you're going past it. It saves a small amount of time, but it's tricky.
Very tricky. Alright, so last Reznor fight right there. Don't have to fight Reznor anymore. And now we have 3 more levels left to go. So this level has a pretty precise P speed at the very end I'm going to go for, which pretty much skips riding a slow-moving platform towards the end of the level.
Yeah, there are a lot of weird angles in this level.
Oh, okay, time to go for a backup. Okay.
Yeah, you definitely want to skip that platform, because as you can see, there's a pretty significant sequence of slow movement there if you don't get the flight.
Yeah, then you have to deal with the birds, you have to go through that boo ring that I flew over. 6-5 has these statues that shoot fireballs. Also, there are 2 parts where I'm going to be setting up triple jumps, as triple jumps allow you to jump higher than a normal jump, and those that extra height is important in order to clear a bunch of stuff. So like that part right there, you will not be able to clear without a triple jump, and then this part towards the end right here. So it's pretty specific to do this level optimally. And now for the very last level, 6-Castle, is a combination of pretty much basically everything that we've done the whole run. Precise movement, there's auto-scroller skips.
Yeah, there's really only one part of it I would say that is downright easy. Unless I'm getting mixed up with a different game. But yeah, you want to go through here, taking a couple damage boosts intentionally to save time, and then nicely done with the jump over there.
Yeah, and there are strats in that last room where you can not do a damage boost, but it involves a clip that I don't even know how to do right now.
Yeah, and that's the easiest part right there, that flight up. Basically, you just do a little thing to get P-speed, land on the one block, and you're good. Now here, the screen is going to flash, but it should be fine. It's only once every few seconds, and it's not strobing at all. So, just trying to get through here quickly enough that they will only do that. Okay, that happened once. Very nice.
That was very impressive momentum preservation to keep those cycles together.
Yeah, and that's done by letting go of the D-pad right as you jump from the conveyors that are moving right.
Got it.
Just a little bit of preservation of that momentum. Now, here's Bowser. He has a switch behind him.
Oh, I did it! How did I do it?
Nice.
So difficult.
Woo.
So that's a little bit more swag than necessary, but it's still cool, and it does save at least a little bit of time for getting the backup leaf. So now there's.
But wait, what happened? Peach just went up.
Yeah, so there's this rising platform section. There are a couple optimizations here. The main one is going to be hitting each new section as quickly as is possible. So there is a particular sequence of jumps that mchan is going to be going for here, and if he gets that, then it'll save a couple seconds of auto-scrolling each time. Then there's, in each part, a little sequence where the attacks need to be dodged as well as in here. So, getting Bowser to swing on the right there so that this left platform, once Bowser's last swipe happens, is already up.
Yeah, so we basically count the swipes in order to know when to fly up to the next part. In vertical autoscrollers, things can load like a little bit before it shows on camera. So we take advantage of that by pretty much flying up to the next part as early as possible by counting the swipes. So in that first section, you saw me go up there within 4 swipes. In here, I went up here within 4 swipes, but Bowser always does a 5th swipe. And then the third part, you can get up to the top within 3 swipes. Now there's a giant switch at the very top, and that's when the run is over.
Mm-hmm. So do get ready for time after this little section of the climb.
Time. All right, what's my time?
GG.
47:10. All right, that was a very good time.
Indeed.
Well
Might be an
done,
09
mchan.
so if I split. If I think I split late, which I always split late, but
Yeah, it looks like a 9 to me, looking at the main screen.
If that's a 9, then that's a really good run. This is actually 20 seconds off my PB.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And within a minute of
either of you.
And within a minute of the record too. Very nice.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
So yeah. Thank you all so much for watching the run. Had a lot of fun. Thank you, Alec, for commentating with me.
You're welcome.
And yeah, if you guys like to know more about this game, I stream this game very often on my channel, as well as the other new Super Mario Bros. Games. I'm also a Zelda speedrunner, so if you also like Zelda games, then you know, I stream those as well. But for the most part, don't have a whole lot to say. Alec, you want to say anything?
Yeah. Basically, thanks for having me. Thanks for putting on this event. And if you're interested in new Super Mario Brothers runs, there is a Discord for the series as a whole, and one specifically at least for new Super Mario Brothers Wii. So you can go find those on the speedrun.com pages for the games, respectively. It's a pretty cool place. They are a bunch of kids over there, but they're good kids. They can stay on my lawn.
All right. Well, with that, thank you to the Fast Pace Events staff for organizing the event. It's awesome to be here again, and yeah, enjoy the rest of the marathon. Up next is Paper Mario, and I'm excited to watch that run.
Always fun.
Thank you very much to both mchan and Alec47. A sincere pleasure to have you as well. And if Charles Martinet were here watching the stream, I'm sure he would say, "Thank you so much for playing my game."